Got pretty lucky, man. The road's been pretty quiet. It was loud.
It has.
It gets loud out there. I don't know what it is about it. I feel like a lot of times I hear stuff go by, and I feel like it would be louder. Mm-hmm. It's louder in here than it would be if we were standing out on the street corner.
Yeah. They knew I was here, so they're
keeping it down.
They're keeping it down, man. They knew I was in town.
Like, oh, that's Casey Jackson.
That's right. Yep.
Just ease on by. Just put it in neutral.
Exactly.
Roll on by.
Yep,
Perfect.
Turn the car off and just push it.
Guys, welcome back. I'm sitting here with one of the all-time greats, Central Illinois, a true legend in the business in Central Illinois. Main event, Casey Jackson.
I'm back.
He's back.
No, I'm back.
Oh man, brother! All right, I'm juiced. Last week we kind of covered the whole history of your career. Mm-hmm. It's great. A lot of stuff I didn't know. Some good stories. If you didn't watch it, go watch it because it's great. But this week I want to talk about kind of how you became the wrestler that you are.
Okay.
So we talked about your fandom. You had watched, you wrestled. One thing I want to know, did you always know it was fake? When did you find out it was a work?
I don't know. Maybe when everybody else did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of. I kind of always like I also don't have like a memory of that. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of I feel like. Like I also don't remember when I found out Santa Claus was fake. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. I remember being a kid, and my best friend at the time, kid across the street, we would always watch the pay-per-views and stuff. And his dad, we'd be sitting there watching Survivor Series or something, and his dad would be sitting there like, it ain't real. Like, look at that. It's fake. And he's like, and then anytime someone did a slam, his dad would be like, look how he jumped in his arms, and he held, and we'd look at him like, what are you talking about? Like, we didn't believe anything he was saying. We didn't believe it. It's like, shut up, man. We're trying to watch the show. And he's just like, he's not punching him. He's like, if I go up and punch a grown man and his face isn't red, what does that tell you? And blah, blah, blah. And I still didn't believe him. I was just like, you don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know, man. Probably when everybody else found out. Yeah. Okay. I don't remember.
It does seem kind of like one of those things that just like everybody kind of knew. Mm-hmm. Like it just like I don't know, like it just kind of evolved into like, it's not like there was ever. I mean, I know, Vince went and kind of announced it at one point. Yeah. And revealed it, but also like I also feel like everybody kind of knew. Yeah. And, that's a weird how that kind of worked out, and now just everybody knows everything. So, all right, so came in first night, took those couple bumps, didn't like it,
hated it. I was like, I'm not coming back.
But then you did.
Yeah, I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and it was a little easier. Mm-hmm. So how'd you feel picking it up?
I felt like it was coming to me naturally. Yeah. Like, wrestling's not easy, right? By far. No. I mean, and you never stop learning. But I felt like it was flowing really well. Mm-hmm. I still remember when I think night one after I signed up. Yep. Night one or maybe even night two, all the trainees were out on break, and I was still in there doing my stuff, and they come back from break, and I still remember a few of them, their eyes got big as silver dollars, and they were like, you're on hip tosses already? Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm trying to wing this. Yeah. So, it just started flowing really, 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 really good.
I think that's one of the things. I mentioned kind of last week how you kind of fit into the group real quick. Mm-hmm. Man, a lot of that had to do with how fast you pick stuff up. Yeah. And because you know, because we could just go and do stuff, you know, and it was, and, you know, maybe that seems rude to say, like, you know, the guys who needed more help, like, almost like, I mean, we were young, we were 20, we were all assholes.
Right.
Right. You know? Yeah. But, like, you know, the guys who needed more help and needed more training, it was like, come on. You know, figure this out.
Exactly.
I got it. He's got it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because they were, like, a month in.
Yeah.
And they were like, because they were like, well, we've been here a month, and you only been here a day. You're already on hip tosses? And I was just like, yeah, man.
Well, man, you can't even take your front bumps right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember you picking it up real quick and being and liking that, you know. And I was especially, you know, I run training now, and I was a leader in training then, but I couldn't break stuff down. Yeah. And part of that was because it came natural to me,
right?
You know, like Rip Mystic could just say, you know, do your front flip here, do it like this, you know, and I would watch him, and then I could do it like that, you know, and so. To then turn around to these guys that need help, like, you know, part of it was I didn't know how to help them. It's like, do it like this. Here, watch me, you know. And then when they're doing it wrong, I'm like, are you even watching me?
Yeah, yeah. Like, exactly.
So, you know, it was great to work with that.
Yeah, because I remember Scotty Cash coming in one time for training, and he's like, hey, man, I heard about you, and listen, you guys are the talk of the school right now. And I'm just like, what? Yeah. You know, I'm just like looking at him like, okay. Like it was all new to me, man. It was all new to me. So I was just like, you know, when he said, he's like, people are talking about you. I'm just like, oh, I hope it's good. And he's like, so I had to come see for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's Scott.
Yeah.
So what'd you learn? What was like some things you didn't expect?
I don't know. I'd have to say didn't expect. I didn't expect it to be like when I came in and was learning how to do certain stuff, like even like run the ropes. I did not expect that there was so much going into it. I thought you just hit the ropes and and you just, you know, bounce back and forth. I didn't know you had to put so much thought into it and
footwork and timing.
Timing and all that. I still remember, I don't remember who it was, but I still remember one of the trainers saying, it was Michael Shard. He was like, you know, you need to run these the way you want to run them, because once you learn them the way you learn them, you're never going to change.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I was just like, you know, what is he talking about?
Right.
And sure enough, I run them the exact same way. He's once
you find that rhythm, it's locked in.
Yeah, he said it's locked in and you're never going to change it. So just just different aspects of the training. It was just like, just so much that went into like a certain like detail. You know, if you don't pay attention, that's it. Like that's it. You can get hurt, or you can hurt someone else, and so I didn't expect it was going to be that intense. Yeah, for real.
You know, for me, I didn't expect. One of the things, and I didn't learn this at New Midwest. I was surprised how many different ways there were. You know, like that was always a thing. You know, when I would start going out places, and you know, interesting too, like the way, even though it was all different. Yeah. It all still fit together. Yeah. You know, like I could train, you know, I could train with New Midwest, learn the way we did stuff, go somewhere else, and they learn something pretty much different, still click together pretty, you know, cohesively. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And then, you know, just like going different places and there being different rules. And what I mean by that is I can't believe I didn't bring this up last week. This is one of the biggest moments in my career. Yeah. Was working for NWA Midwest. Okay. And that was in Streamwood in Chicago, and Ed Schumann was running it. And he at that time they were partnership with TNA, so Terry Taylor was booking the show, and so I would come in and do a couple shows for them, and that's actually how I got the KC Jackson name. Went from Hardcore KC to KC Jackson. Oh, okay. Because they had a Hardcore Craig there. So Ed Schumann's like, you can't come in as Hardcore KC. And I'm just, you got to come up with a name. So I was just like, I don't know. And then they put the card up. He gave me like 3 days to come up with a name, and I still was working on it. I had actually had a name. I can't remember what it was, but I finally came up with something. And the day I came up with it, he had the card up, and I saw Casey Jackson. So I was like, I guess that's what it is.
I guess that's me.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so I can't believe I didn't bring that up last week. I forgot about that. That was one of my biggest milestones, man.
Yeah.
Because they had a partnership with TNA, so they brought in a bunch of TNA talent. A lot of eyes were on me. Ed Schumann actually wanted to put the Illinois title on me.
Yeah.
And the champion no-showed me twice. Because he didn't want to drop it to me. I was, I was the new guy.
Yeah.
Like, why would I drop it to him?
Right.
So I didn't get.
Some guys just get latched onto that title.
Yeah. And then it so happened to they were going to give it to me a third time because I started running the NWA circuit in Iowa.
Okay.
So I was doing NWA No Limits and then NWA Midwest and. They was gonna give it to me a third time, and then my appendix ruptured.
Oh.
That was in 2007. My appendix ruptured on New Year's Day, and so I got rushed to surgery. I almost died actually.
Yeah.
And so I had to recover, and I probably was out 4 or 5 months. Well, by the time I came back, they severed ties with TNA, and that was it. Because I was going to get that. I was going to get that title, and who knows what I could. Right. I mean, I might have even got a chance to do a tryout or something with TNA, but Terry Taylor was booking, so he knew
that's a big opportunity.
Yeah, he knew I was, and then can't think of his name. The guy that created the Canadian Destroyer, he was manager.
Petey Williams.
His manager
was
the guy with the glasses.
Is that? D'Amore?
Scott D'Amore. Yeah, he was actually the creator of the Canadian Destroyer, but he gave it to Petey Williams was the first one to do it, but Scott D'Amore created the move.
I hate that move.
Yeah. So he was looking at me, and then that happened. Yeah. Didn't mean to get off track.
No, that's fine.
I just
that's totally
forgot
in the politics.
Yeah, man. Totally forgot about that, so I do apologize for not bringing that up last week. But back to where I was saying where you learn different rules.
Yep.
Ed Schumann, I was a new guy, so I'm like, I'm gonna do what I got to do to earn my keep around here because I want to keep coming back, especially working with TNA talent. I mean, everybody was in that locker room. I don't think I'm gonna name drop, but everybody was in that locker room, and I remember going to get the ring, and I was trying to help set up the ring. And Ed Schumann's like, what the hell are you doing today? He's like, you don't put that effing ring down. And I'm just looking at him like, I'm just trying to help. He goes, no, I got a paid crew. I pay guys to come in and set this up. He's like, here. And he throws us some money. He goes, get your F&A to the down the street and go eat some Casey's pizza CC's pizza. That's what it was. He's like, go eat some CC's pizza. He's like, I don't want to see you till the show starts. You don't touch my effing ring. He's like, I got guys that do that. He's like, you're a paid talent. You are a paid talent. He said, you don't touch the ring. And I was just like, okay.
All right.
I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you're just learning different things. And man, I love that guy. I nicknamed him Barking Orders because that's all that. That's what he did, man. He didn't play, man. He'd come on that scooter or whatever, or he'd come hobbling. He was cool, man. I loved Ed Schumann.
That's cool.
God rest his soul, but he was awesome. But yeah, I just learned, some of the things I didn't expect. There was just gonna be so many different rules where you went. Like everywhere's different.
Yep.
Definitely did not expect that because I'm just like, I didn't want to be known as the guy. I didn't want to be like, oh, he thinks he's the stuff. He ain't helping with the teardown or nothing like that. And
well, at Newman West, everybody helped.
Yeah,
for sure. Like you were there. If you were there, and if you were a guy coming in, that was the quickest way to get not invited back.
Right, exactly. And so that was my thought process. I was like, I'm going to help where I can, so I can keep coming back. But no, she was like, you're a paid talent. You don't touch that ring. I pay guys to set that up. I was like, this is all new to me, man. Yeah. This is all new to me.
That's
so
cool.
So yeah.
So was there anything? So it was kind of quick to pick up. Everything kind of flowed well for you. Was there anything you really struggled with?
Chain wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. just could not pick it up, man. I cannot pick it up at all. I remember staying over after practice, after training, and still working it. It was just it's always been an Achilles heel for me. Yeah.
And it seems like something when you're early training too. It seems like so important.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I remember working the show with Chase Stevens, or one of the I don't remember what their tag team name was, but
what was their name?
The Naturals.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember him. I remember being in the locker room with him once, and he kind of we were just talking, and somebody was messing something up, and he was just like, "Man, he can't chain wrestle. Like, who the hell in this business can't chain wrestle?" I'm sitting like, I'm just like, I'm like, I didn't say anything, and I'm just like, I can't. But I've always struggled with that, man. I don't know. It's just one of those deals. So I could not pick that up.
Yeah,
I couldn't pick it up.
Facets, man. Mm-hmm. I don't know, and it seems like it should be important, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like Hulk Hogan ain't never chain wrestle.
Right.
The Rock ain't never chain wrestle.
No, I think Steve Austin chain wrestled like once, and it looked so goofy. I was just like, what is he doing?
Yeah, he would chain though when he was younger. At WCW,
in WCW he did a lot, but
his biggest success was when he stopped. He didn't do that stuff anymore.
That's my point. I seen him do it one time as Stone Cold, and I'm just like, what is he? It doesn't even look right.
Right. What are you doing? Just punch somebody and stun her.
Yeah, exactly.
Walk that mud hole. That's all. That's what I.
That's all I came for.
Yep. So picked up the basics pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Nice, easy flow. We talked about you worked Bradley Stevens. Wrestled Bradley Stevens.
Yep.
And that was really kind of where you started to feel like, okay, I can do this.
That's when I felt like I belonged there. Yeah. Because
did you learn? I mean, what was it about that? We kind of breezed over that, but what was it about that?
He just made me feel so comfortable, man.
Yeah.
Like he kept the match basic, but we still had we still had the spots where they needed to be. We walked and talked, like it was just like he just made me feel so comfortable. Like he brought all my nerves all the way down.
Started to feel that flow out there.
Yeah, started to feel that flow. Like it was my 3rd month in, so my my feet were still a little wet, trying to get my bearings. But he calmed me down. And
when you get out there with somebody who can help you along, you don't have to think as much. It's easier to just feel that flow, and it's almost like how it was for me. It's almost like once you feel that flow, like it's one of those things that doesn't go away. You know what I mean? Like you feel that once, and then it builds. It's not like you lose it, and all of a sudden you're like, you don't go out there one time, it's like, oh, that's perfect. Right. And you go out there the next time, it's like, I don't know how to do this anymore.
Right, exactly.
Like that flow keeps flowing.
Yeah. So that's when I really was like, okay, I think I can do this.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. So then, match work. How'd you feel about match work? Because a lot of guys, I notice it seems like if they pick up kind of the physicality of it easy, then the match work comes tough. Like how to actually put a match together, how to get out there with and work that. Did you feel like that flowed pretty easy, or was that?
Sometimes. There's a lot of times like I've never been a script guy.
Yeah.
Ever. Even now on my daily job, I would. They would want you to talk to like customers a certain type of way, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that. Like, I got to do it my way.
Yeah.
I was always whenever a promoter would put me up against someone who I knew like to script their matches, I hated it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, the match work is gonna be so like, come on, man, like, because like they'll say, okay, KC versus this guy, and I'll know right off the top of my head, this guy likes to script a lot, or this guy likes to walk and talk, or I knew the crew, and so anytime, any night, I was up against guys that just wanted to map everything out. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to like tighten that down a little bit.
Yeah.
And because I never could get that to come easy, and I never wanted it to. Like, I don't want to go out there on the script.
Right.
So it took me there we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hold on, so I'll edit this out. Yeah. That's a little much. All right.
But it took me a while to like put matches together. Because I was never one of those guys who just had to do this, and this. Yeah. I was just always one of those guys that wanted to figure out how we were going to get to the end. Right. And I'm just like, because I don't have to go out there and hit all these big moves and high spots and all that. My main concern is I just don't want the crowd dead. Yeah. I don't want the crowd going mild on me.
And it's so easy. It's so much easier to get the crowd going if you don't have if you just go out there and react to them and let them tell you where to go. Yep.
Yep. But it took me a little while to get the concept of match work because I was always afraid of where do I put this, where do I put this, where do I put this, or how do I get to the finish. Yeah. But I mean, I had guys like you, Bradley Stevens, Spencer Powers that I worked with. I had all you guys that kind of taught me that and showed me the way.
We had a big.
I can't believe I can't think of his name. One of the best talkers we got, man. Arson, yeah. Why couldn't I think of this? I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry. If you know my story, man, I've been through a lot. So I apologize that I forgot about you. But, yeah, Tom Arson, man. In training. Yeah. It was probably like we were doing a tag match. And I was probably still in my first month or two. And I remember being in training, we was trying to come up with a spot to get to a certain spot. And Arson comes in and he cuts us off. He cuts us off in training. He's like, "What are you guys trying to do?" And I was like, one of us told him, was like, "Well, we're trying to do the match get here." And he in 5 seconds, he's like, "That's easy. This is what you do." He climbs in the ring. He goes, "You do this. He's like, and then you're gonna hit him here, and then boom, you're right there. I just looked at him. I was like, that was so easy. How the hell did he do that? Right. And so yeah, I had you guys to help me out with the match work, and then once I got that down, I was ready to skyrocket, man.
So when did you feel like you had that down? Do you remember?
It was within my first year in. I don't remember exactly when or what match, but I knew from the jump I didn't want to be a script guy though. Yeah. I knew from the start. I was just like, man.
Well, we put a pretty big at New Midwest, and I feel like part of the I kind of talked last week about how all the guys that came out of New Midwest seemed to be a step up most places they went. I think that has a lot to do with what I'm about to say because we put a big emphasis on being able to call in the ring and being able to work on the fly. Yeah. Driven mainly by Tom Arson. Yeah. And I latched onto it very soon. And, I feel like, one of the things was we were building that at a time when the business, a lot of the other promotions on our level were leaning more towards scripting and planning and, kind of having that crutch. Yeah. It's a lot easier for things to go. If you're out there, it's like building a scaffold, right? If you build a scaffold and you try to fit it through a doorway, unless you have built it perfectly through that doorway,
yeah, what I mean? Right.
It's not going to go.
You're not going to get too far.
That the crowd is that doorway.
Yeah.
But if you go out there and build, the scaffold to fit the doorway, it's going to go through. Yep. I'm going to let that go past.
Cool.
It always blows me away. I always feel like, there will be times you hear, 2 or 3 fire trucks, an ambulance, and some cops go by, all with the sirens screaming, and then I never hear about any buildings burning down.
Yeah, you're waiting on the news to report something. And
and I was like, well, man, that sounds bad.
That sounds bad because that was a lot.
Yeah, but then there's never anything. I guess everybody's okay.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, So within your first year, you feel like you've got the match work down.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, because there are guys that work for years, and there are guys that have been working as long as you and I have, still don't have it down.
Yeah. I mean, it's always kind of challenging, like, because like going into every match, it's different. It's always different. So you don't know what you're up against. Like, you know your core guys. Like, you know, okay, this guy's gonna be, we're gonna flow good. This guy. But even like, you know, me and you and I could get put together tomorrow, and I'm just like, okay, you know, we got, you know, where we're gonna go.
Right.
It's always, you always have that thought, like, you know, because I always want to have a great match. You know, I never want to leave anything out there.
For sure.
So you're always gonna have that challenge on match work. I think that's never gonna go away. But yeah, first year I felt pretty comfortable.
Yeah, that's good. So you did a lot of tag work.
Yeah.
Did you have to relearn how to do tag? Well, I guess you kind of started that. You did a lot of tag at New Midwest.
Yeah,
so.
I kind of started off tagging a lot. So it was like, I mean, I had to learn pretty easy, not easy, pretty fast on how to do like tag team moves. Mm-hmm. Because the Marvel and I probably almost broke Billy Morgan's neck on our finisher. That's when I learned that I had to fall to my butt, not my knees, on our finisher, because we folded them like a lawn chair that day.
What was your finisher? I don't remember.
It's where the Marvel would suplex the guy onto me, and I would catch the legs.
Okay.
So we had them, parallel. We had them, and the Marvel would come down with the neck breaker. And I would do like a power bomb, so it was like a power bomb net breaker.
Yep.
And Marvel would drop he would flat back it, so it was almost like a diamond cutter.
Right.
And I would come down, but I went to my knees, and I went to my knees. So Billy Morgan was like this, man, and I seen his neck go, kind of turn. He was pissed. So I was like, oops. Yeah. I was like, so then I knew okay, the next time we do this, I'm going to fall on my butt.
Right.
We're going to try that. And when we did it, it was flawless.
Yeah.
So I learned pretty quick, like tag team moves are, you definitely got to be on the same page. You definitely got to, it's got to flow right, or you're going to hurt somebody.
Right.
So that was different, but we caught on pretty quick. It was kind of fun. But yeah, I tagged a lot. I want to say I turned on all my tag team partners too, but, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever turned on me or not. But
I don't know, man. You're always the one turning heel.
Yeah.
So you were face for a long time, though. You're a good guy.
For a long
time.
Mm-hmm.
When you turned heel. What was the learning experience for that? What was the learning curve there?
Trying to it was really trying to get the crowd to react, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Because you come out and do all that cheesy stuff to get them to pop, but then I'm just like, okay, how can I come out here to make them hate me, and at the same time not sit on their hands?
Right.
So I had to just tell myself, you just gotta play to them, man, and just do your thing.
Sounds like you were ready. Sounds like it was pretty easy because you were pretty ready.
I was ready, man, because I wanted to be a heel for a long time. Because I'm like, man, why don't these guys just turn me, man? Because I want to try something different. Because I was babyface for 7 years or so, man. Yeah. So I was just like, come on. Yeah. But yeah, doing that, and then again back to the match work. I had to learn to not do certain things as far as move wise, because I don't believe that a heel should be doing all these high spots and stuff like that. And and there's a move set that I have where I'd switch something up. I used to have this move set to where I would end it with a leg drop. Well, instead of the leg drop now, I end it with a knee to the face. It's the same move set, but I switch from the leg drop to a knee to the face.
Yep.
Just little stuff like that.
Yeah.
To where I can,
Yeah. So did you have a plan for that stuff, or did you get there like? Did you feel it out and like?
I felt everything out. I had no plan when I went in as a heel. My only plan was to get people to hate me. That was my only plan, and I was like, how am I?
The jerk.
Yeah, how am I going to get them to hate me? And I was just like, well, I'm like you said, the jerk. So
just because I think about like little things like switching the leg drop to the knee drop.
Mm-hmm.
The knee drop seems a little meaner,
right? Yeah, yeah.
So
I just would tweak a few things, and then.
Well, let me ask you, what about was there a learning curve because you talked about All-American wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how old school they were.
Yeah.
Did that take a learn? Because I consider New Midwest. Like now, I consider New Midwest very old school.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I thought we were pretty contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I worked some old school when I started traveling. I went to Missouri a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of old school work in Missouri, which I love.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially back then. But I just, I don't know. Was that a learning curve for you? Were there were you working with guys who were like, you do too much, kid, or
no?
Did you pick up anything there?
They were really the type that they had a mixture. It was more like all their heels were super old school. And then the baby faces would do their stuff.
Yeah.
We do more of the modern stuff.
Okay.
But there was really nothing that they. It was just so easy there. Like.
Yeah.
All their matches were basic, but you told the story and you got everything in that you needed to get in, and the crowd was super hot. Like. It was just, I think the only thing I was always told there was to slow down.
Yeah.
Because I would get in a hurry as the baby face. But, man, it was art there, man. Yeah. It was nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I still wish we could have ran my idea that I had before they went out of business.
What was that?
They were thinking about turning me heel.
Okay.
Actually thinking about turning me and Don heel.
Okay.
And they was going to put us with Ed Livewire McGuire, and then they had Chocolate Thunder, so we were going to be a clique, 4 black guys.
Right.
So I went up to Sean. I said, "Hey man," I said, "you need to let me." I said, "If we're going to do this," I said, "you need to let me. We need to change the ropes." And the colors of the ropes to green, red, and black. And I said, we need to call this African American Pro Wrestling. And so he was just like, he kind of looked at me, and he's like, man, we might do that. And I said, I got to do some kind of hostile takeover, and we'll just call this African American Pro Wrestling instead of All American Pro Wrestling. And we do this, and this. I said, we'll change the ring to African colors and all this that. And he was actually going to go with it, and then they ended up selling, and then they sold to a bunch of money guys, and then
guys who don't know.
Yep.
Always goes that way. If they sell, or they don't sell, and then it just burns itself out.
Yep.
All right. So, what about going from being a guy to being a main eventer?
I really didn't feel any pressure on that.
No.
Once you guys told me, hey, this is what it is. I was just like, well, that's what I wanted. Because, like I said, I wanted to put that on the wall, that I wanted to win that belt, and I was just like, I'm here now, so I got to take it and run with it and do it. It was fun. I had a lot. I felt like I was ready.
Yeah.
Because
I think you were past ready. Yeah. Obviously.
I just. I was happy that it was finally time and that it was here. So I just made the best of it because I didn't know if I would ever, if that first run was over, I didn't think I would know if I'd ever come back. So if you guys would ever bring me back to the main event. So I just grabbed it and ran with it, tried to do the best I could with it.
How did you approach being a main eventer? How did you approach having a main event match versus? I mean, do you see that? Do you feel like your match work is any different? I definitely have. I definitely have like my like I have different philosophies for if I'm in the opener, if I'm in the middle, or if I'm at the end.
I felt like I felt like I definitely had to like turn it up a notch. My thing was because we all know there's always that one or two matches that you give them 5 minutes, they take 20.
Yep.
And I'd look up at the clock, and it's late, and my philosophy is I got to do something to keep them here.
Yeah.
Like I don't want people leaving in my match, especially when it's supposed to be the main event, title match, whatever it was. So I always took that approach that we had to keep it energized because these people are ready to go home. Mm-hmm. Some people are smokers. They're ready for their smoke break. They're ready just to go home. They're hungry. Yep. Kids are whining and sleepy. They're ready to go. So I was like, what can I do to keep them here? Like I can't do what I would do in the opener. I really didn't change any of my match work, but I would make sure I interacted more to keep them interested. To make them want to stay. So I definitely did that.
They can't walk out if they're yelling at you.
No, exactly. Yeah, if they're sitting on their hands, they can walk out. So I'm like, I got to keep them. I got to keep them involved and make them feel important. Which they are. The fans are always important. Right. But I had to make them feel like they was a part of the match or the show.
That makes sense.
So that's how I always took the approach in the main event.
Any life lessons you took from pro wrestling?
If you're gonna commit, you got to commit, man. Like you can't be having these roadblocks, and you can't be having, this didn't happen to me, but I've seen it happen to other guys. Mm-hmm. You can't be all in this thing and then turn around and get into a new relationship and decide, I don't want to wrestle, I'm gonna take some time off. You got if you're gonna do this, man, you got to be there for your team, for your guys. There's other people that's depending on you. You can't just they might have you in a big storyline, and then you can't get involved in something on the side and then decide, I don't want to do this, I'll come back later, blah blah blah.
Right.
So that was a life lesson. Like if I'm gonna commit, I need to commit. Like there's some sacrifices that need to be made. No, I'm not gonna quit my life for $20.
Right.
But I mean, if I commit to a show and say I'm gonna be there, then I'm going to give my time that day or that week to that show.
Yeah.
So there was that, and sometimes there was hard because people got families and stuff. Like when I started wrestling, I had one son. Right. Now I got multiple.
Yeah.
So there was always things I had to do in between, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way I always talk about it is, like. Wrestling doesn't have to be your number one priority.
Right.
Except when you're wrestling.
Yep. Yep. Like I said, if you commit to that day or that week, give it.
Yep. If you commit,
give your time to then.
If you commit, be there.
Yep.
If you are there, be there.
Yep.
If you are, if your head's not in it, if you're thinking about other stuff, if you think you can go in the ring and just, half-ass it because you're lazy, because you're tired, because you had, it always really bugs me. I understand some guys who travel, but like the guys who show up late, wrestle their match, then leave after their match.
I hate that.
Like, what are you even here for?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, can I have your attention?
Yep.
It always bugs me, guys who take double bookings.
Yep.
Sometimes, okay, I don't mind, if you have an afternoon show and then you're coming to another one.
Yeah.
But like guys that try to work two shows that are happening at the same time, like can I start this match and finish this show?
I was just going to say that, like, if you're double booked, fine. I just never liked it when you come in and ask the promoter to be on a certain spot on the show because of your other show.
Right.
Like, no, man, like you work. You know, you're gonna have to figure that out yourself. Like you can't just come in and ask to be the opener because you got to run here and run there.
And neither show's getting your best in. So what's the point
at all?
You know what's the point? You know, and you're not benefiting from that,
right?
Because you half-ass one show, even if you don't feel like you are, you are because you're in a rush.
Yep.
You got to get out. So you're half-assing your first show, and then you rush. You get out of there. You have to rush the other one. You're tired. You've already had a match. You're tired from rushing.
Yep.
You get to that second show, they're not getting your best.
Nope.
So like even the idea, you know, because some guys will be like, well, I just want to wrestle as much as possible. Like you do that to get experience, but you're not getting good experience. That's not quality experience.
It's not. No.
You know, and it's not like in the old days when they would do that. You know, that might be the difference between you making rent. You know what I mean? Like that was money. If you were making real money, that's one thing. You're making $40 instead of 20,
right?
you know, and doubling your drive time.
I was gonna say, and your booking is like an hour away, so that money you just made there went in the gas tank. Yeah. So, I never was a big fan of that either.
I'm with you, man. Take it serious. Commit, be there when you're there.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's an important. Like, you know, I definitely have taken that. Like any of the things I do, like I don't get into stuff if I'm not going to. Take it serious.
Yeah, I mean, I used to tell other promoters when they'd bring me in, you know, for show, I'm like, one of the first things I would say is, don't worry, you know, you got me for that day. I'm not gonna double book anything. I don't work and run.
Yep.
So we're good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, things do come up, like, you know, if you got a certain job where you gotta like get called in to work or something, then hey, yeah, maybe I gotta do this match and take off. But other than that, you know.
And, you know, doing a match and taking off, again, that's another one I feel it like if you show up with plenty of time and give me your all, and then you've got, you know, 2-3 hour drive back and you want to get on the road, I can understand that. If you give me what you got before that, that's fine. You know, but, you know, some guys don't show up till bell time, show time, or come in late and then have their match and then want to leave.
Then out.
You know, I barely saw you.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's even the point? You know what I mean? Like,
they're even in their match thinking about what they got going on afterwards.
Yep.
So it's just like you said, why are you here?
Yeah, you're not committed.
No.
But you're committed to 2 more weeks.
Yes.
And I'm juiced.
Yes.
Next week, man, is my favorite episode because this is what I really sink my teeth into is because we're gonna be talking about like your philosophies on the business. You know, we've talked about your career, we talked about how you learned it. Now we're gonna talk about how you are it. Ooh, that sounded good. I like that.
Did because I am it.
You are it. All right, so make sure you join us next week. We'll be right back with more Casey Jackson, a real legend in my own mind.